At the ITS World Congress 2022, the intelligent transportation community gathers in Los Angeles to discuss the latest innovation and research in intelligent transportation systems. The meeting program explores a wide range of topics from connected and automated vehicles to road safety, sustainable transport solutions to equitable transportation and much more. And ITS TV is right here to show you a glimpse of the greener, smarter, safer transportation of the future. Welcome to the Los Angeles Convention Center and episode 2 of ITS TV 2022. As attendees return, we take a look at some of the latest innovation in intelligent transportation systems. We speak to ITS America President Laura Chase to find out more about ITS America's focus areas for the coming year. We hear more about exciting ITS developments in Europe. We feature cutting-edge research into smarter transportation from organizations around the globe. We find out more about development trends and gaps in the transportation market. And we learn more about the Federal Highway Administration's Cooperative Driving Automation Program. As you can see, a lot of exciting content, so stay tuned for our first interview. You're watching ITS TV. Joining us now is Laura Chase, as she is the President and CEO of ITS America. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Amazing Congress so far, getting some great feedback from people. What are some of the biggest focus areas you want to promote here?
Well, I think there's a couple key areas. One I mentioned this morning at the plenary, which is digital infrastructure. And this concept of now is the time to really invest in these digital and technology tools that can help us get more out of our physical infrastructure. And with all the money available in the new bipartisan infrastructure law, there's a huge opportunity. Another area is how we advance connected and automated technologies to support safety, to support reducing emissions, and to support more equitable mobility solutions. That's another focus area. And then I think, of course, we've heard a lot about sustainability, electrification, nationally and internationally. I think that's a big topic that everyone's focused on. And this is a moment where we're seeing a lot of commitments from both the government and the private sector to advance that.
Yeah, we've talked a lot with some other delegates about how important it is to have the regulatory process and infrastructure in place to get a lot of these innovations going. And also the disconnect with the average person, maybe the communication out there. Yeah. Tell us what ITS America is doing to kind of bridge that gap.
So, I've been trying a lot. I'm a mother of 3. I'll start with that. And I've been trying, I've been trying to connect some of these technologies to people in their lives. And, one example is I want my kids to get to school safely. A couple of my teenagers have to bike to school or walk to school, and I want them to have a safer route. Most people don't understand how these technologies, many of which you can't see, right? Many of these ITS-based technologies, a common person would not see them and understand what they are. So how do you explain that to people that actually, that smart intersection is actually going to make it safer for your child when they're riding their bike, or it's going to make it safer for your family when you're driving in the car. And so, I think we have some technologies that are very consumer facing, and those I would explain as, the automated driving assistance technologies in many new cars these days, the lane departure warning, the automatic emergency braking. Customers see those and they start to understand them. And then also a lot of the on-demand technologies, right? So if your region has instituted like a seamless payment option for transit and bike share and ride share, then you see that you start to understand what some of these solutions can do for people. So we're really trying to make that connection and explain this technology in more common terms.
Mm-hmm. And we are in Los Angeles, a global hub, and we have delegates from all over the world. What do you think people can really get out of this global conversation? How do we share the knowledge that we have around the world?
I think the best benefit for people is really having those conversations with each other and learning from other regions. We were having some conversations with our European friends about data here in the US, and it's really interesting because both regions are having some challenges utilizing data. but the complete opposite challenges. And so it's really important that you talk to people who are trying to deploy the same technologies, but experiencing maybe different barriers, different challenges, different opportunities to learn how can we do this better? How do we actually apply this to maybe a rural community, right? Or an urban community? And I think that's the value of having everyone together to share that information.
Yeah, so different, right? Depending on where you live. And so finally, what do you want delegates to come out of this Congress, right? What do you want people to really take away?
I would love for people to take away that investments in in technology and integrating technology into our system is going to be the way, and really the only real way, that we will be able to deliver truly safer, smarter, greener mobility for all. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that all of our infrastructure assets we have are nimble and dynamic and prepared for the future, and technology allows us to do that. So we can actually connect more people to jobs and healthcare and education and opportunity through the use of technology and leveraging these tools. And that's what I hope people will come away from this with.
Wonderful. And I'm already seeing all the amazing innovations happening on the floor, in the conference sessions. So congratulations. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the week holds.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Joining us now is Jozef Ventoma. He is the CEO of Ertico, and you are doing some amazing things in Europe in terms of intelligent transportation. Sure. What are the focus areas?
Well, thank you, Annalise. Great interview. I really like the atmosphere here. And we do a lot of things in Ertico ITS. It's all about mobility and transport. However, we do innovation, technology, new things, trial, error, but really new things with the road sector, with the sector of the OEMs, with suppliers, with the users, with the public authorities, the research. So it's really across the board mobility that we do a lot of projects and really showcasing, like we do today here, what is intelligent transportation systems.
In your mind, what is the biggest focus that we need to be doing today?
I think the focus should be what we try to do now, explain to the consumer, explain to the driver, explain to the user, what is ITS, how can technology help you? And that's exactly for automated driving. If you talk to somebody and says autonomous driving, he says, hello, do you really mean what you really mean without the driver? I said, yes, we do. So it's a kind of vocabulary that we need to establish with everybody to get the buy-in of our nice products and services.
Mm-hmm. And I understand it's your first time in Los Angeles.
It
Welcome.
It is.
What are you looking forward to accomplishing here in this conference with the other countries and the other regions?
Good question. I think it's about networking. That is unique what we do here with Ertico, with Asia Pacific, with the Americas. It's an event that is no second one. You cannot replace it by an online event. There's no Zoom meeting for this. This is really touching, seeing people, talking about transport, about telecoms, about logistics, and actually exchanging points of view, but also dialogues and a high-level session with my colleagues. So it's really well done.
Well, it's good to have you. And of course, be a fortune teller for us. Tell us what you're seeing in terms of trends down the line. What should we be looking out for?
I think the trends will be, well, transportation at least will be connected, obviously, automated, more and more automated things, shuttles, pods, vehicles. We will not have vehicles anymore. There will be objects that are moving from point A to point B to drive you, but to drive goods and services. It will be green, that's clear. It will be sustainable, much more than today, electrified, and also, I would say, like an orchestra, people playing music together. So vehicles will play music with the roads, with the users, and also with everybody else. So it will be a one concert where we orchestrate traffic, orchestrate the usage of transport.
Mm-hmm. And definitely European companies will be part of that
Sure,
big movement.
You bet. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
You're welcome, Annalise.
Enjoy the Congress.
I do.
And get some time in LA as well.
Thank you. Have a good day. Cheers.
Innovation is key to ITS, and organizations around the world are dedicated to make transportation smarter. Let's take a closer look at some of the newest developments. The ArtCenter Graduate Transportation Systems and Design program was created to merge transportation innovations with design in order to bring the future of transportation to life. Let's find out more.
Transportation is really the bedrock of our civilization. This program is very much about the optimal mix of technological intelligence and human intelligence. We believe that we have to look at transportation from a systems and holistic point of view. One of the things that we realized as this program took shape was a very interesting intersection between what I call things that move, which is transportation, and things that don't, which is our built environment.
The way our departments work together is very much based on the studio practice of the students. So they might take on topics like desired futures. What could an equitable, sustainable future look like? And how do you design for that?
It was my belief that the world needed designers with a somewhat different set of skills, if you like, to help industry navigate.
Up next, Mobi offers Smart Cities, a turnkey bankable SaaS solution addressing the huge problem of traffic congestion.
In Mobi, we're developing mobility insight to a proactive, next generation, fully operational traffic management and service.
I've been incredibly impressed by the solution that Mobi has created, Mobility Insight, for the traffic engineering and decision support market. Operating traffic management centres is a huge job that can have deep impact on the quality of life within a city or maybe even a region. Managers must develop the best responses to changing operating conditions. The decisions affect traffic, transportation, and the mobility of entire regions. Given this, they need more than the basics. They need Mobi TMAS. It delivers policy-driven and also technical operations support, improving decision-making for both technical people and for policymakers. If you like, it's a bridge between policymaking and operations. It's a dramatic improvement in situational awareness because of the ability to fuse data from multiple sources and be able to understand exactly what's going on, what's likely to happen next, and what to do about it.
And joining us now is Mark Durfer. He is a senior partner with the California Mobility Center. Good to see you, Mark.
Good to see you. How are you today?
Great. And I know you are doing some amazing things at the CMC. Tell us about some of the priorities.
Some of the priorities for the CMC are really bringing together academic research, industry expertise, and the regulators to, in general, just accelerate the commercialization of new technologies in the big space of automobility. So on a very high level, that is our main goal, really to create that ecosystem where innovation can happen, where innovation can get accelerated. So that's it.
That's big. And you're from Germany, and you were telling me a little bit about it earlier. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in transportation that we should be focused on?
Well, especially being from Germany and coming over here in the last 3 or 4 years, I think where Germany's already a step ahead is really this whole area of the last mile delivery, micromobility, going into that. I think there's a lot of action that has happened in Germany, and now it's really like up to the providers to find that last mile solution and match that actually with the whole concept of sustainability, right?
Yeah, and obviously you're here in California now. Can the US be at the forefront of innovation?
I think there's, especially if you look across the whole US, we need to be very use case specific, right? So, and I think it's the same then with being on the forefront of innovation. The way, for example, California is tackling, being very aggressive with reaching climate goals is definitely something that is, I don't want to say unseen, but definitely at the forefront right now. The Inflation Reduction Act is something that's definitely at the forefront. So from a regulatory perspective, there's a lot of push, and I think the way it is addressed right now, that is actually already innovation in itself. Like innovation doesn't always have to be a new fancy product, or it's sometimes just the things we do. For us as industry, it's important that we address that now. How can we actually take what's happening in the regulatory field and make it happen on the roads in our cities, but also in rural areas? So how, like, what are the use cases? So defining those use cases and figuring out what is the best solution for each use case. I think that's really what should be our priority, and that's what comes out of these pushes that the US is actually giving. Yeah.
So what's your recommendations for how we can move forward to fill some of these gaps that you've mentioned?
I mean, the future is electric one way or the other. It is, but it's not purely electric, right? It's going to be always a combination of things. So making sure that the infrastructure to support those new systems is in place is crucial on any level. If we're talking, we're using this huge cloud word, smart cities, right? What does that actually mean? Breaking that down. What is the infrastructure that goes into that? Is that the charging infrastructure for electric vehicles? Is that data points on our current traffic regulation infrastructure? We need to look into, okay, what's machine readable versus what's still like readable for us, because we're in this hybrid phase now where it's human-machine interaction, it's analog systems on the road with more digital systems on the road. So I think investing into V2X infrastructure, etc., that's really where we need to be focusing on to close some of those gaps that, yeah, quite frankly, Europe and especially China then have.
Yeah, definitely. At least we're on the road, as they say.
We are on the road. We're moving. We're moving,
We're
right?
moving,
Yeah, we are.
The Federal Highway Administration's Cooperative Driving Automation Program aims to advance the safety, efficiency, and sustainability of the entire transportation system. Join us for a closer look.
We're so excited, US DOT, motor carriers, FHWA, and Marriott, to showcase the Cooperative Driving Automation Program here at ITS World Congress. Well, we brought a little bit of everything, and we're really excited to show it off. We have our full-size truck. FMCSA and Marriott are doing some work there. The second is we've brought in cooperative perception. By sharing sensors with the smart infrastructure or sharing sensors with other vehicles, it can actually virtually see that pedestrian and save that life or that danger. So what we see here is CAV in a box. Workforce development is key to make sure we have the technical expertise in the field with the states and local governments and universities. And so we've set up a in-the-box setup for a traffic controller, a roadside unit, the communications you need, the computers, the routers, and that can be set up at a real-world intersection for training. And the Karma 110th vehicle. The Karma 110th vehicle has all the same sensors that the real life-size truck vehicles have at level 3, 4, but it allows to get into this at a 10,000 plus or minus cost, so universities, high schools can demonstrate and use the technology. We've spent 5 to 7 years working on level 1, level 2, and that really showcased with automakers in a real-world scenario demonstrating that it can work. Now we're moving with level 3 and 4 in vehicles in cooperative scenarios. The ability to do open source platforms, open source tools, and to be a very inclusive community of researchers. That's our goal. We can't fund everything, but we can leverage the community to answer research questions sooner and get to deployment faster. The emergency response community really benefits from level 3, 4 technologies, but it operates differently. For example, as the emergency responders are on their way to a scene, a level 3, 4 vehicle can get preemption to traffic signals. And this emergency vehicle has that capability. Once the vehicle's on scene, it can manage the scene by sending messages to oncoming vehicles so they can know an incident is there, slow down, and move over and clear the incident area, making it much safer for emergency responders.
We're ITS TV, your daily news show featuring interviews and discussions on hot topics in intelligent transportation systems from this year's ITS World Congress. You can catch us around the Convention Center here in LA in select hotel rooms on the ITS website, social media, and YouTube. With new content each day of the Congress, make sure to keep watching. That's it for our second day here at the ITS World Congress 2022, and things are well underway in LA. Tomorrow, we take a closer look at what it takes to make intelligent transportation safer and more sustainable. Before then, you can watch the show here at the Convention Center, in your hotel room, and online. And don't forget to subscribe and follow ITS TV on social media. We'll see you tomorrow.